Yeah, hopefully you are aware or you know about the Merapi eruption. 250 people has been evacuated. I was watching some videos. That's one of those, and I noticed something really intriguing. Let's see if I can show it to you.
Indonesia's Mount Merapi erupts multiple.
Watch this part because there's a flash and it's really in the beginning and it goes up and you can see it also in the sky, and there will be another one which you quite likely will notice. So now let's have a look quickly at this. There was a flash, it goes upwards, and there's a bigger one. What's that?
250 evacuate. Indonesia's Mount
First,
Merapi erupts
second.
multiple times.
Whoa.
250 evacuate. Indonesia's Mount Merapi erupts multiple times.
Yeah, you still can see it in a way.
250 Mount Merapi erupts multiple times. Indonesia's Mount Merapi erupts multiple times.
Again. Now I got a better look at that. There is something, I don't know if there's some transformer blowing up or what is going on, but it looks really interesting. Let's say like that. Let's watch it once again, and then I wanted to tell you, show you some other things, share some thoughts.
Indonesia's Mount Merapi erupts multiple times. 250 evacuate.
Yeah, that's really interesting. But now I wanted to show you something else, and then I wanted to, yeah, anyway. So now just have a listen to him quickly.
It says in the Zohar, in the section on Genesis, that it's about something that forms in the formlessness and thrust in a ring. And he references the words for forming and formlessness, thrust in a ring, and he refers to smoke and a smoke ring. And he doesn't make the association. This is made by the Zero Blaster company in, I think it's in Concord, Mass. It's a little piston and a chamber which you fill up with heated glycerin or glycerol of some sort. It's non-toxic. And then you pull back on the plunger and it makes little smoke rings. Forming and formlessness, thrust in a ring.
So now, this is something I was really thinking about a lot, and I somehow, it's really amazing about the apple again, still. Like, I made once this video in which I use this picture. My, yeah, I'm not an artist, and I just have a phone to make digital art. So let it just be as it is. The thing is, here is a geoid. I really nicely photoshopped it into Earth. And of course, we have north and south, and the picture in the middle is a screenshot I took from the La Palma eruption, from one of those vortices which occurred there. There was no lightning, there was just these vortices. And I just freely used it for my own picture. I just put it in the geoid. So now, if we would take this ring, which is like a donut, and if we would watch inside it from the side, we get the rings. And from there, it's not far anymore to get Scatterman, or however you want to draw it. So, now to something probably unexpected. Wilhem Tell is a folk hero of Switzerland. According to the legend, Tell was an expert marksman with a crossbow who assassinated Albrecht Kessler, a tyrannical reeve of the Austrian dukes of the House of Habsburg, positioned in Altdorf, in the canton of Uri. Yeah, we have to check out some earthquakes in this place once. I was watching. Anyway, let's continue. Tell's defiance and tyrannicide encouraged the population to open rebellion and a pact against the foreign rulers with neighboring Schwyz and Unterwalden, marking the foundation of the Swiss Confederacy. Set in the early 14th century, traditional date 1307, I thought it's 1291, but anyway, during the rule of Albert of Habsburg, the first written records of the legend was to the latter part of the 15th century, when Swiss Confederacy was gaining military and political influence. Tell is a central figure in Swiss national historiography, along with Arnold von Winkelried, the hero of Sempach. He was important as a symbol during the formative stage of modern Switzerland in the 19th century, known as the period of restoration and regeneration, as well as in the wider history of the 18th and 19th century as a symbol of resistance against aristocratic rule, especially of the revolutions of 1848 against the House of Habsburg, which still ruled Austria 500 years later. Legend. The first reference to Tell, as yet without a specified given name, appears with the White Book of Sarnen. This volume was written in 1474 as Hans Schreiber, State Secretary Obwalden of Obwalden. State Secretary Obwalden. It mentions the Rudely Oath and named the conspiracy of the Rudely. Wait a second, where do they really tell the story? Hold on. That's something really... I got struck by that when I thought about this. When I was watching Adapt 2030, he was talking about gold. And I thought, whoa, I get it. The thing about the apple. In Judy's account on 18th November 1307, Tell visited Altdorf with his young son. He passed by that hat. The publicity refused to bow to it and was consequently arrested. Gessler was intrigued by Tell's famed marksmanship, but represent full of his defiance, so he devised a cruel punishment. Tell and his son were both to be executed. However, he could redeem his life by shooting the apple of the head of his son Walter in a single attempt. Tell split the apple with a bolt from his crossbow. Gessler then noticed that Tell had removed the crossbow bolts from his quiver, so he asked why. Tell was reluctant to answer, but Gessler promised that he would not kill him. He replied that he killed his son. Had he killed his son, he would have killed Gessler with the second bolt. Gessler was furious and ordered Tell to be bound, saying that he had promised to spare his life, but would imprison him for the remainder of his life. So, Swiss Guard. The pontifical Swiss Guard are also Papal Swiss Guard or simply Swiss Guard. Cohors Helvetica. Päpstliche Schweizer Garde. Garde Suisse Pontificielle is a minor armed force and honor guard unit maintained by the Holy See that protects the Pope and the Apostolic Palace within the territory of the Vatican City. Established in 1506, Pope Julius II, the Pontifical Swiss Guard is among the oldest military units in continuous operation. I never watched that flag. But I don't want to talk about this particular flag now, here, except that we could use this middle piece. Let's just imagine this would be the apple. Or Earth. North Pole, South Pole. So, let's draw some magnetic field lines around it. And we get an apple. And I was thinking, how is it possible, since I grew up in Switzerland? I was thinking, how is it possible? First of all, Switzerland is really rich. Second, how Switzerland is protecting the Pope in Italy. Why? How is it? Both of them are really rich. Both of them are captured in their own paradigms, believing in Jesus and these kind of things. Some time ago, the Pope, which is, I guess it's still the same as nowadays, he went to Iraq or Iran, I'm not really sure anymore, Uruk, to bring back the keys, because he probably knows that the time of the pies is over. Jesus brought fishes, 2 fishes. He is representing the age of Pisces. Times are changing. You probably noticed when you watch news or whatever you do. Times are changing rapidly. The apple. You shouldn't eat from the forbidden fruit. In the first step, God divided earth from the heavens. It is the first and probably the most profound step in order to create anything, is to make a difference. Which means if you have a space and you just put a sphere of the same material in the same space, it will dissipate into the same space, because there's nothing which makes the difference between those two. The easiest and most profound thing in order to create form, a self-sustaining form, we just saw with those smoke rings. This is just air in which through flows energy. The machine, or if you can make it with smoke with your mouth, there are many people that can do it and I can't. Blowing smoke rings. You can blow through it and it creates a ring, because it's swirling around itself, through itself. It creates a vortex. So probably the thing what I was once somehow thinking about, that probably there is this kind of sea pinch thing in Earth which creates the heat and keeps everything alive, the magical spark, the spark of life. You shouldn't eat from the forbidden fruit, because if you do so, you will see inside. You will see how the apple looks from the inside if you start to eat it. It probably makes you think about things. And I guess it's the Hebrew alphabet. I'm just starting to get into this Stan Tenen thing, or however to put it. It's really interesting because it's so profound. One line, which is the letter, you just turn it, you get the shadow. And the profundity, because you get this kind of donut shape, like we had in this vortex from La Palma. And it's also really going well with the electric universe, Birkeland currents, sea pinches and such. Because if you have this donut, there is going energy through the middle of it. In a cosmical scale, it would be a sea pinch, a Birkeland current. And where it pinches, you get galaxies and stars and these kind of things. And this kind of in equilibrium being sea pinch, which is connecting us on the ground to the heavens, to the rate of consciousness, to the ether, to the understanding of being one. The equilibrium and the magnetic force is keeping it in place, so we are alive. We emit energy, heat, and all kinds of things. This is probably why, or there's a really nice symbolic thing that Wilhem Tell shoot the apple from its son's head and it split open. And now they are protecting the secret in the Vatican. That's why Switzerland is protecting the Vatican, the secret of this understanding. Because people who made this Hebrew alphabet knew about that. But it's not something everybody should know. Otherwise, there's no power anymore in the church, because they know that they know. The other ones probably don't even know that they know, so nobody asks. That's why probably Switzerland and the Vatican and the church and all these kind of things are so much related. And the apple, keeping the secret of the inside of the apple secret. Thanks. Bye.